internal,
Hey, I'm going to start recording anyway, but I'll ask you questions because this is all good content for me.
yeah, no, no, no.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just been great because you line everything out, and
Mhm.
if you just trust the process and follow your program to the T, which is exactly what I've done for 12 weeks.
Yeah.
There was nothing I did any different. I may walk a little more one day on an off
Hmm.
day, or
Yeah.
I might play golf or something. But I followed the nutrition in the workout to a T, and after 2 weeks, I could start to see
Yeah.
a little bit of change, and then
Yeah.
a month in, I could really see a change.
Yeah.
And then the last 4 weeks of it, I kept my weight kept going down, and now I'm starting to increase, weight going up, what the amount I'm doing. It like I said, I just followed it. I didn't do anything any different than what you had lined out.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
So
it's awesome. And the cool part with you is being a former athlete. It's always when I get former athletes, it's just a little bit easier process. Not always. I shouldn't say that
sure,
because
sure,
I'm working with a couple of them right now, and I can't. It's more of the mental component. They're struggling with environmental component, mental component with their how they how they choose to eat, how they are doing those things. That's more of it. But
yeah.
anyway, I knew when I started working with you, I was like, okay, I know, he's done some stuff at a certain level.
Mhm.
The programming stuff, it was more about, hey, let's pull him back and make sure he gets through. Because I know there's a competitive component that comes out,
Right.
and we want to do more than we should sometimes. I was like that for a long time, and I got hurt a lot.
Right, right. Well, I
Uh,
did in the very beginning,
yeah, yeah,
but you're spot on with that.
yeah, yeah. Hey, let's go ahead and get you kicked in. So just
Okay.
your name and kind of tell me a little bit about yourself, and then why you chose to start a program like this.
Okay. Well, so yeah, Brandon Hurt. I'm the vice president of operations for Dittsfield Container Service here in Sedalia, Missouri. Former athlete, played minor league baseball for 2 years in Salinas, Puerto Rico. So, fairly adept to some workout regimens throughout my younger years. And I dabbled a little bit working out. I just kind of to maintain a little bit, and eventually got into some bodybuilding type, weightlifting activities. And of course, I've followed you and what you're doing on social media for a few years now. Had always been interested in some sort of program like this because I think I told you in the beginning I would go into my workouts. I won't say blind, but if I felt like doing this today, I would do this. With
Yeah,
no real targeted um, program. My only goal was to see how much weight I can lift
yeah,
or
yeah.
pull or
Maybe not the structure from week to week that builds. Yeah, no, I get that. Yeah.
Yeah. So when and the more videos I watched, what you put out, you were putting out there, and following what you and Aaron had been doing when you had the
Hmm.
brick and mortar building
Yeah.
and all that stuff, and I just was really interested in doing it. And I got to the point last winter, let's say 2024, about November. I got up to around, for me, was very heavy. I'm about 6'3", so I can carry some weight and make it that might not make it look bad.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
me personally, I just didn't feel good, and visually looking,
Yeah.
I needed to make a change, and I knew for me personally, I was going to have to reach out to you or to a program similar,
Yeah.
and get some guidance, and just dive into it, and follow the program, because I can tell myself, and I think a lot of guys are this way, that you can do it.
Yeah.
You know how to do it. You know what to do. But without the structure part of it, Tony, you're kind of going into it blind.
Yeah.
Even somebody that's got to work. I mean, I had multiple different workout programs that we did throughout baseball that were,
Yeah.
driven towards
Yep.
one aspect or the other. So,
Yeah.
but the just the direction and everything that was so organized from top to bottom. The app works great. And like you said, we didn't have a whole lot of conversations throughout the process,
Hmm.
but I knew you were tracking everything that I was doing, and I was very meticulous with putting in stuff. I mean,
Hmm.
my wife would get pissed at me some nights. We'd be out to eat and I'm
Yeah.
Googling, the
Yep.
amount of this. And I'm like, she goes, it doesn't have to be perfect. I'm like, I want to be as precise as I can because I mean, the result, the proof's in the pudding
Yeah. So,
when the work.
so you nailed it right there. So the more precise you are with understanding of what you're consuming,
Yeah.
the better results or quicker results. I would say men and women. It takes a little bit longer for women, but men can dial those things in and really accelerate it. With that saying, kind of give me some of the results you personally seen in this in the program.
Okay, well, initially when I first, started into the program, the structure of it was great.
Mhm.
So the benefits of it was developing some really good habits, and you start that day one. So
Mhm.
the first day you start your program, if when you dive into it, the nighttime ritual. I thought in the beginning, I thought, okay, I'm being honest,
Yeah,
what's
yeah,
this
yeah,
going to do?
yeah.
But then when I got into the purpose of doing it,
Mhm.
and I mean, it just fell in line with everything. It helped me sleep better at night
Mhm.
because everything was structured.
Yeah,
And I knew once I was hitting those marker points that you put out on the app that I accomplished, what I needed to for the day.
yeah,
Even in the off days. So it's great to have everything in there in the off day when you don't have whether your program, 3 day split, 4 day,
yeah,
whatever you
yeah,
got going on. Um, the off days, you got to be held accountable too.
yeah.
And one of the things I've noticed here towards the end of the program is that I may have fell off a day or two here or there, with some nutritional on the nutrition side, and my stomach was not happy with me.
Yeah.
After 3 months of nailing down, hey, I
Mhm.
need to do this, and then you step off and you're like, okay, I'm gonna eat some cookie, have 5 or 6 chocolate chip cookies. Now, I'm not saying you can't eat that
No,
stuff,
yeah, you got it.
but it for me it really helped me. Like I'm still eating, even if we weren't, I wasn't still going on and doing this. My nutrition's not going to change much because
Yes.
of how that's made me feel.
And I would say this, Brandon. Most people don't understand that component because
Right.
they've never allowed themselves to get there.
Right.
And once you get there and start feeling good, you don't want to go back.
No, no, you already know where you've been and how you felt.
Hmm.
So, and you've got the blueprint to
Hmm.
continue to build off of and keep going with it. So yeah, that's
Yeah.
been the biggest difference. I mean, outside of the physical changes, I've lost about 2.5, almost 3 inches on my waist. I went from a 38 to I could probably squeeze it into a 34 now.
Nice.
I don't like wearing tight clothes, so I'm not into that whole all
Come
that.
on, skinny jeans.
So
Come on
no,
now.
I'm not a skinny
No,
jean guy, man. I'm
no.
not a skinny jean guy. But yeah, one of the things that I lost track of focus on the physical side over the years after my playing days were done was the core, my core lifts. So
Hmm.
guys have a tendency to lift the macho muscles,
Yep. Yep.
bench,
Yep.
things that, and the way you design your programs, which you're doing, you're incorporating your core and your legs basically in
Hmm.
every workout.
Yep.
I didn't realize how much of a difference that made with all the other lifts, right?
Yeah.
So
Yep.
that had kind of fallen off the map for me.
Hmm.
Squatting and things is it's not a whole lot of fun sometimes.
No, yeah, it'll challenge your mental capacity, but I always tell guys, even myself, there's some days, and I tell a lot of these guys, I'm like, hey, there's days I don't feel like lifting. I
Yeah,
mean, I have them too, but
yeah.
I know once I get done, I feel 10 times better.
You're spot on,
Yeah,
100%. If you
yeah,
can get yourself to do it, I mean, everybody's going to struggle with those days.
yeah,
I mean, even yourself. I mean,
yeah,
you're a top of the line fitness instructor, and you
yeah,
struggle with
yep,
doing your own workout from
yep,
time to time. So,
yeah,
conveying that to people and your clients, and I mean, I'm not just saying that you do a great job with this program.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, well,
I've had other workout programs, not by professional guys before that,
hmm,
it's just kind of, "Hey, here, do this, one of those type of things. But
yeah,
it really has, you guys have developed a good program. And the proof's in the pudding. So I
yeah,
would sit here and tell you if hey,
yeah,
this didn't really work for me. But
yeah,
I went all in
yep,
and,
yep,
and
100%.
and now I'm not looking back. You know, I enjoy every part of it.
Yeah.
So,
So give me some numbers on your body changing, like
okay.
scale weight or and things like that. Because I
Okay.
know because when you dial all the components in,
Mhm.
specifically being an ex-athlete and being experienced with some type, yeah, the weight room,
Right.
we had to dial in your other components. But give me some of your numbers that you've seen as far as on the scale, things of that nature.
Okay. So scale first and foremost, I believe, when I first started the program, I logged in at like 248.
Yeah.
I think that was the day. So, but before I started this program with you, I'd been working out for a couple of months,
Hmm.
2, 3 days a week,
Yeah.
just trying to get myself acclimated back into the regimen of going to the gym. So prior to that, so we'll say a month before I started, I was at 256.
Gotcha.
So that to me, and that's where my starting point should have been, right? I
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's so the last time I stepped on the scale, I was 225.9.
Nice.
So, I mean, within 3 months of just following the program, following the nutrition guidelines, I know I didn't use a lot of the suggested nutrition, the
Yeah.
meals that you punch in there,
Hmm.
but and I think maybe in the beginning that might scare some people, like, oh
Yeah.
shoot, I need to,
Yeah.
but once you explain that you just got to stay within the parameters of your macros,
Yep.
find good foods within that
Yep.
that you can. So that once I got past that point, I was like, okay, well, this isn't going to be as hard as I thought at all
Yeah.
on the
Every
nutrition
person's
side.
different. Every person's going to have how they eat, how simplified you can make it and still hit the marker points too. It doesn't
Right,
have to be complicated. And that's the thing is that we put that up as a wall sometimes. It's like, oh, we have to cook all this crazy food, and really you don't. You
right.
know,
No,
some people like to
no.
do that, and
Sure. No,
but
there was some couple of options that we actually did,
yeah,
Laura and
yeah,
I made and ate, and
yeah,
they were good.
yeah,
It just for, when everybody that's probably in this program is busy, they're
yep,
working, they've
yep,
got lives, they've got kids,
yep,
so to be able to just completely focus on, a higher end nutritional part of that
yeah.
would be difficult I think, for a lot of guys. But
Oh
when you
yeah,
can break it down and simplify it and stay within the macros, it was super easy. And
cool,
I'm like I said, I'm still doing it to this day. I just got
nice.
done eating one of my snacks that is
Yeah,
full of protein and
yep.
stuff. So
Yeah, and you've dialed in those concepts, and those concepts stay with you. Now it becomes who you are and what you
yes,
do, and that becomes easy. I always talk
yep,
about this, like, hey, it's just like brushing your teeth, man.
yep,
You can do it.
yep.
Um, so awesome. Last thing I would ask is, what would you say to other people considering joining a program like this?
Right. So I would wholeheartedly, no matter what your level of fitness was, whether you're a beginner or intermediate or you've had some experience, in doing it like I have, I would wholeheartedly, anybody, male or female, the way you line it out and the way you start the program in the beginning. There was some exercise, some of the workouts in the beginning were, I felt like, okay, this is kind of easy for,
Yeah, yeah,
I know what I mean, but
yep.
you have to start there. You can't, just like you talked about earlier, the ego thing, you
Hmm.
have to start and build a good foundation.
Yeah,
Um,
everybody wants to skip ahead, right?
Yes, yeah, you want to, look, man, I can lift more weight than
Yep.
this. Well, the day I did it, I, tweaked my hamstring. So it's just the ego. If you can keep your ego in check, I'm
Yeah.
getting off in the weeds on that part,
That's
but
all
yeah,
right, man. It's part of it.
any anybody that I would strongly encourage anybody to jump into your program.
Yeah.
It works. Like I said, you have to do nothing else but follow what you set up.
Yeah.
For
Yep.
me, I
Yep.
mean, everybody's a little bit different. But yeah, no, I would fully endorse. And like I said, this isn't the end all for me at all. I'm wanting my wife. We're working on getting her,
Yeah.
set up and going. And
Yeah.
then I can give it back to her a little bit,
Oh
as
yeah.
far as when she starts seeing some results. So,
Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
but
Man, it's a
yeah,
win.
no,
It's a win-win. It's a win-win. When you guys can inspire each other to put your health at a high priority, everything else gets a little bit better.
and I don't think people put enough onus on this. You've said
Mhm.
this before in some of your team calls and things
Mhm.
like that.
Mhm.
Just how much your nutrition, diet, and exercise affects your daily life. Like
Oh yeah.
being in a better mindset to do your job, or to
Mhm.
be more present at home, or
Mhm.
whatever you've got going on in your life.
Mhm.
It doesn't inhibit anything.
No.
It really doesn't.
No.
Your hours are based off. I mean, these new workouts are taking me a little longer than
Yeah.
the other ones,
Yeah,
because
they are. They
I'm
will. Yeah.
having to implement a little bit of rest time in those volume components more
Yeah.
than it says on the app.
Yeah,
But
it's all good, man.
the main thing is getting through that
Yep.
part of it for
Yep.
me.
Yep.
But yeah, no, it has been, I think I've told you before, I'm kind of kicking myself in the butt for not, reaching out sooner.
Yeah. No worries, man. You
But
got it. You've done a great job.
Yeah, the physical component. I'm starting to get. I haven't seen abs since I was 18. I never really focused much on that.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
wife, one morning, we got up and we're getting ready, and she's like, "Your abs are starting to come in."
Uh-oh.
And there's not a lot of just ab specific workouts
No.
within the program. I
No.
mean, you sprinkle some in,
Yeah.
every week, and it's not something you have to necessarily focus on that body part to get. But
No,
yeah,
hey, we're loading that core every workout, man. That's
yeah,
what I've always fought that with programming over the years with clients. They're like, "Hey, we need to do some crunches." I'm like, "No, we're okay. Let's do some of these things over here and
yeah,
hey, the rest of stuff, the core's gonna get strong with following the directions."
yep, absolutely. No, it is. I'm being dead serious. So
All right, man. Well, I appreciate it. You've been great to work with, and obviously we'll keep you moving forward in what capacity we can.
sure, yeah, absolutely. We'll obviously we're going to stay in touch. And
Yeah.
I'm loving this new part of the program.